welcome to another episode of the Peelerz podcast, where we discuss the nitty, the gritty, and the pretty side of stripping. Here with the only host today, Krilla Kraken. Everyone was a little busy, but that's completely okay because I think we need to catch up quite a bit. So where the fuck do I start? Where the fuck have I been? And what do I want to talk about today? What I want to talk about today, and what I think is so important, is main character energy, the positives, the negatives, the stigmas about it. But that's what I want to discuss on this episode. But first, before we get to that, let's talk. Let's talk big time. I want to talk. I want to have a discussion with you guys. I want to be open and honest about where the fuck I've been and why I haven't been posting on the podcast. One, I'm sorry. I was actually going to dress up for this episode, but I'm like, no, I got to be genuine to the podcast. I got to be in my jammers. So I'm in my pajamas. I got my crafts ready. But first, I want to be talking right to the camera. I want to talk right to you guys. Because one, I owe you guys a giant apology for not posting. I'm sure y'all are going to understand, but I owe you an apology. So I'm sorry that I have not been posting the podcast as much. You can hear Buckley under me. But I have good reason. I have a very good reason for not posting as much. One, my friends have been really busy. I haven't had much to talk about because I've been doing it. And pause 1 second, Buckley is stuck. But yes, everyone seems to be off doing their own thing and thriving and happy, and there's new relationships, new jobs, new opportunities for everyone out there, and everyone's kind of grabbing it by the balls and running right through the wall with it. So very proud of everyone. But where have I been? What have I been doing? So last time we talked, I don't even know what the hell we talked about. Maybe I should have watched the last episode, but I didn't, and I'm not going to because I'm lazy. But for the past few months, I've had quite a few opportunities come up, a few projects, a few things, a few brand deals. But the biggest thing that has happened in my life in the past few months is something that happened to my mother and really changed my outlook on life. So I'm not going to go into the details about what happened to her or names or anything like that because it's really not my business. But it sucks. It sucks when something really bad happens to someone that you love dearly. My mom physically is okay. Mentally, she won't be for a long time. And something had happened to her while on vacation, and it's going to affect her for the rest of her life. It is going to affect every single one of her relationships. It's going to affect how her brain processes things. She went through something very traumatic. I'll just leave it at that. Something extremely traumatic happened to my mother and to a loved one of hers that did not survive. So that changed my outlook on what is important, where my goals lie, and what is realistic within a few years. So with what happened to my mother, I had to take a step back and realize that this woman couldn't even take time to heal properly without worrying about work and finances and paying things off. And it made family become far more important to me. I did not know the person that passed. I didn't know them well. They have always been around me, very close around me, and known a lot of my family. So it affected everyone. And I guess I can say that I'm lucky in the situation that I could help out and had the accessibility to leave work and see my mother and help as much as I could when she couldn't even think straight. So it made me realize a lot that I should be taking care of her at this point. Not should, not have to, but I want to. That I want to start taking my finances a lot more serious and my goals and where I want to be in the next 2 years to help my mother pay things off and become financially free and to have more free time for when the good or the bad come up, that she can sit in those emotions and actually feel them and not have to worry about income. So that being said, I have been doing a lot of OnlyFans stuff, blah, blah. I have been working my tail off. I have been doing a lot of brand deals and trips and stuff that it comes to TikTok and Instagram and things like that. And then I also had something happen to one of my implants where I'm going to need a surgery. So basically, I'm just trying to make as much money as I can within the next 2 years. And I know that 2 years is an odd timeline that I'm giving you guys, but it's just realistically, I think mindsets and maturity changes a lot in 2 years. So making a 5-year plan or a 10-year plan is really unrealistic because you will probably change your mind of what you want and what you're going for. And the opportunities are always changing and you never know what's going to be handed to you. And it could be totally opposite of what your goals are for your 10-year plan. And it could be better, it could be worse. You just got to be more realistic. And that's what I've realized. So I have been working a lot with brands, clothing brands, tattoo lotions. I've been working for the tattoo convention and performing there, which has been so fun. I did Calgary, Edmonton, Red Deer, and I'm doing Lethbridge. I feel like I'm missing one. Anyway, did those conventions, absolutely amazing. They always pay well, they treat me well. It's always so fun. There's always a lot of attractive people there. And I tell you what, it makes you so nervous to perform for a crowd that's nothing but your type, because like going on stage at Shade, there'll be like maybe one person who's kind of your type, but when the whole crowd is your type, woo, I almost threw up. So that was very fun. I am so thankful for those opportunities. And I have to say that I'm also thankful for my friends really being there for me when my mom was going through that, because it was really hard for me to process. I didn't know what to do or say or how to act because I didn't know what would help. And I've never been through a situation like that. I've never had to help someone, let alone someone so close, someone who's my caretaker. I had to take care of them. It was just a total flip. So I do appreciate my friends a lot for being there for me. And I'll remember that forever and ever. I've been part of a wedding that is someone very near and dear to me. So that's such a joyous time, and it's been so exciting. And planning has been a lot, not on me, but just wanting to make sure that she's getting everything she wants and deserves. It's hard because, like, none of us are rich. The economy sucks, all that good stuff. But there's been a lot going on, and I recently just got back from Thailand. I had a brand trip with the brand, Bubblegum the Brand. And this is where I'm going to start to lead into the main topic of this podcast, because I think it's so important, the things I learned while in Thailand. And I'm not trying to be all hippy-dippy on you. I just mean being in a house with 15 women who aren't all dancers and who I do not know, and the experiences that we had. I think I learned so much from just being around a different group of women and really taking in their different lifestyles, because they're all from around the world. It was so cool to meet them. But I did get the opportunity to go work with that brand. We went to Thailand and we stayed in a mansion for a week and did reels, TikToks, pictures. We had photographers. We were traveling around. We went to clubs and pools to promote, to do these pictures and reels and everything like that. And it was such an amazing experience. I can't even begin to tell you how cool it was. Hanging out with a bunch of hot chicks on a tropical island, abso-fucking-lutely. For those who are going to ask, it was the island of Koh Samui. I hope I'm saying that right. And it was a very long flight. And I went with a girl named Jade from Calgary. And she was a fucking sweetheart. And she is so fucking funny. I'm so glad I traveled with someone who's like lighthearted. And honestly, like, as much as like the type B have not a bad stigma, but like a stigma of not having their shit together or whatever, it was so fun traveling with a type B personality, because they're so fucking funny. They're so fucking funny. You have no idea. And it's nice to take a step back from being like the motherly attitude that I always am and just having fun. So it was really cool going with her and going with someone with an open heart and open eyes and wasn't scared, because I was scared and I didn't want her to think I was scared, but I was fucking scared. We didn't speak the language. We've never been there before. She's never even traveled outside of America. So it was very nerve-wracking, and it was so fun to go with someone who was close to me, who I can bond with now, who I can work with now, who's not even that far from me. She's actually still in Thailand. She went to Copenhagen, if I'm saying that right, the other islands, and she went to some moonlight parties and everything like that. She is, I'm not going to say dramatically younger than me, because I'm not that old, but she is younger than me. So Buckley, hey, don't. Sorry. She is younger than me, so I thought there might have been a disconnect, or I might have felt like the old one on this trip. I did for a second. I felt like the old Betty who was boring, but I felt so included and so accepted among these women, and we were all so different, which is where I want to lead into this conversation. Main character energy. And what made me want to talk about this is actually a comment I got on one of our TikToks, is that someone who was trying to be negative about it said, oh, you guys are just a bunch of girls. The TikTok was like us having fun, like girls do. Oh, you guys are just a bunch of girls who think you're the main character. And I've been racking my brain wondering why the hell this group worked so well and why it worked so well, how, everything like that. I was just so curious because every time my friends called me or were Snapchatting me, they asked like, what's the tea? What's the drama? Because there's always some kind of something within a group of women. There's some kind of dilemma, drama, misunderstanding. There's always something in a group of women. And I mean, even in a group of men, group of everyone, especially when there's alcohol involved, there's going to be drama. But there was nothing. There was nothing. I had no entertaining stories to tell anyone. No one was cliquey or weird or didn't want to hang out with everyone. Everyone did their own thing when they wanted to do their own thing. And then when we wanted to be a group, we were a group. It just worked so well. So this is why I think it worked so well together. The organizer of the group, her name is Zenobia. She runs Bubblegum, Bubblegum the brand. And if you haven't seen that brand before, go check them out on Instagram. They have really cute bikinis. It's mostly alternative. It's really cool, and they fit amazingly. So what I think she did, I don't know if she did it subconsciously or if she knew what she was doing, but I feel like she knew what she was doing, is she picked girls who are the main character in their life because they're so secure with who they are that there's not going to be a weird competition or weird insecurities or like starting drama for no reason, which I do believe a lot of drama in this industry is from insecurities and projections and not knowing who you really are and not being comfortable or being threatened by other women. So I think she did such a good job picking out these women because we were all so comfortable with who we were. When certain girls wanted to come home early, it wasn't like we felt like, oh, I'm going to be left out. There was nothing like that. It was so refreshing and so cool. And I think it also comes with maturity because most of us were 25 and up. Not saying that that's the most mature, but I think it definitely helped not having overly young girls in the villa and having tight rules that we all followed. And I appreciate that because I don't like when someone's a mess or someone has to be watched or babysat. That's not fun for anyone. But that never happened. We were all mature. We all had our own apps to travel around on the little mopeds. We all had our own bank cards. We all had the cash we needed to. If we needed to get something, we'd go find it. No one had to babysit anyone. No one had to comfort anyone or anything. It was, other than when we missed our friends or we thought we looked bad in a picture or something like that. Yes, of course, we'd comfort each other. But there was no fights where people split off and took sides. It was beautiful. It was amazing. I had so much fun. Some of the things that we did, so the first day we just hung out. The second day we made reels. The third day we went to a pool club party, and it was nice being surrounded by other women who get photographed and videos taken of them without their consent. It was so nice having other people experience that with me because it happens to me all the time. And sometimes when I talk about it, people don't believe me, which is very annoying. It's usually only men who don't believe me. Sorry, have I been blurry this whole time? Who cares? I'm ugly anyway. So it was fun to be able to giggle at the old men staring at us. And then we all had different talents and skills, like doing cartwheels on the beach with Gabby. That was so fun. And then doing headstands with Eva. It was just nice to see a different group of women and everyone and their experiences, hearing about the different clubs that everyone has worked in, because there was, I think out of all of us, 7 strippers altogether. There may have been more. And the owner of the brand also used to be a stripper. So she's very open about how she used to do that and how different it is everywhere. From Australia to the UK to Canada to the US to Mexico, it's all so different, which is so cool. And the accents, oh my God, so sexy. I don't know if you know who Kelly Panther is, but go look her up on on Instagram because her voice, is sexy. Same with Ariana, Adela. It's all the D's and the G's and the G's and stuff that I get confused with. And everyone had unique names. And everyone sometimes had two names because there was dancers there, right? So their voices are so sexy. Like the Australian and UK accents, like, ooh, yummy. I wish I had that. And then I'm sure we sounded like Hicks to them. So some of the content we made were just some simple reels, mostly bikini brand stuff. We all did get a shirt, but they are mostly known for their bikinis and like exotic dancewear stuff. So you probably won't see much of it on TikTok because they can't really promote it on TikTok. But back to the main character energy thing. I think it was so cool getting to know them because all of us have still kind of been in contact since. We would all gladly work with each other since. And sorry, my dog's crying. Yeah, Buckley, are you not the main character right now? Okay. She's all scared. Oh, sorry. So it was just really neat to, and maybe I'm seeing it wrong. You know, maybe if I zoom out of the situation, maybe everyone hated me and I was the problem. But who fucking knows? I hope I'm not that delusional. I don't think I am anyway. But yeah, it was absolutely refreshing to be surrounded by people who in their lives, they're the main character and they know who they are. They know what they want to put out there. They know how they hold themselves. And there's no, again, what I felt was no insecurity. We all do have insecurities, absolutely. I know I do. I know for a fact they all do. Everyone's worried about something, about their body, their looks, their personality. But how it never got, hi Buckley, how it never got projected onto each other, it was fucking refreshing, man. I can't get over it. So the advice I want to give to all of you, especially new dancers, is that it is important to find someone not to idolize, but to look up to, but don't put them on too high of a pedestal that you want to be exactly like them. You want to be yourself. You want to be comfortable in your own skin. You want your own style. And it is so cool to look up to someone or idolize someone, but don't put them on so high of a pedestal that you need to be exactly them. You need to dance like them, look like them, anything like that. Because everyone has such a unique style and accessibility to this in this job, especially when you start making more income and you become far more comfortable in your skin, you're going to want to express yourself the way you want to. And if you're not doing it to your standard in your head, you're going to be miserable because you're never going to be able to compete or compare with the girl you idolize. So why don't you become the next girl to be idolized? You can take things and bits and pieces from certain dancers, but don't become them. Yes, Buckley, you're so sweet and you're the cutest dog in the world. Buckley says the same thing. But I do believe that, yeah, when you get into stripping, you get so enveloped with some girls and you're like, I want to be exactly like them. You don't want to be exactly like them. Everyone has flaws. You want to be you and you want to be the best you and take pieces from them. If you like the way they point their toes in a certain move or the way they walk in the air, take that. But to try and become someone who you are not, you will become miserable. And if you start seeing that in yourself, that you aren't happy with your progress or who you are as a dancer or performer in general, take a step back and work on yourself. Just yourself. Don't compete and compare with the girl that's already on the stage and been doing it for 10 years. You got time to create your character and who you are. And if you find yourself starting to hate the girl that you used to idolize, that's because you put her on too high of a pedestal and you expected way too much of her. You expected her to act a certain way or be a certain way or to even treat you a certain way. And that's unfair to put on someone that you don't know. And I've had that happen before where girls have gotten snippy with me because I don't teach them pole. I don't teach anyone pole. I don't know how to teach pole. I only use my dominant arm. That's such a bad thing to be teaching people. There's reasons why I say no to people. And I'm one of the, some people will disagree on this, I wonder who, but I am one of the nicest dancers when it comes to giving out free information. I teach everyone free fire. I try to teach the fire safety that matters within the club to everyone who performs fire or wants to perform fire in a competition. And I am gladly willing to stay after hours to teach you a certain move you're trying to get. But I don't host pole classes. I don't, like, I can teach you a move here and there, but I'm not going to take time out of my day to get my pole registry class just to teach pole so that you'll like me more. So take the girl off the pedestal and put yourself on the pedestal. You deserve it. We're all queens. You need to be the main character in your own life. You can imagine yourself as the underdog who's like going to become the next big thing, instead of putting this girl on the pedestal and being like, oh, I'll never be like her. You will, but you're going to be a different version. The girls I looked up to in dancing, I might dance a little similar than them, but I have my own style and everything. I've become my own name. And I believe that every dancer can do that, and every dancer has the ability to do that and should do that, because we're all so unique and special in our own ways. We all bring something different to the table. And if you don't utilize that because you're so busy trying to be someone else, you're throwing away some talent, some uniqueness, some authenticity. I said it right, guys. So take what I say with a grain of salt. I've only been dancing for like 10 years. So what do I know? What I do know is that in my life, I am the main character. I like being the main character. I'm forever going to be the main character in my life. I'm never going to put someone on a pedestal higher than me, because I think I deserve the best for myself. And I think you deserve the best for yourself too. So I hope you all have a wonderful day. I don't want to gab too much. I don't want to talk your ears off, especially for just the episode that's coming back. But I really enjoyed talking to you guys again. I will be bringing Jasmine on for the next episode, maybe Jasmine and Serena, and we're going to be talking about some stuff. But I just wanted to fill you in on some things going on in my life and some things that are coming up, maybe with the Death Museum. I might be going to the States very soon. I am going to the States. The plane tickets are booked. Maybe I'll get barred at the border again. Maybe I'll be talking about that. Maybe everything will go smoothly, and then I'll end up moving to the States, or not moving, but having a great time in the States, sleeping in a hearse. That sounds fun. You want to hear about that? I know I talk mostly about stripping on this podcast, but I'd definitely like to start talking about my collection and my hobbies a little bit more. So yes, have a safe and wonderful night. Take everything I said with a grain of salt. Again, I'm not that educated. I don't want to cut myself short. But what I do know is that I do have a lot of confidence. I'm very secure with who I am. And I wish that more girls were. And I believe that they all should be, because we're all cool, talented, and sexy, fun, naked ladies. So have a great day. Tip your dancers. Wear a condom. Wear a helmet. And I'll see you at the club later.